The Philadelphia Eagles just lit a fire across the entire NFL. And it's not just hype. Saquon Barkley is sending shockwaves with bold new goals, and linebacker Zach Bond just dropped a chilling warning about this year's defense. Meanwhile, rumors are heating up that superstar cornerback Jaire Alexander could land in midnight green. If this all comes true, the rest of the league better watch out. Buckle up. This isn't just another season, it's a statement, and it starts right now. The Philadelphia Eagles just made one thing very clear. They're not here to play around this season. During mandatory minicamp, the Eagles didn't just practice, they made statements. Big ones. Several star players came forward and said things that made fans sit up and listen. And if these words turn into action, the rest of the NFL needs to be seriously worried. Let's start with Saquon Barkley, the Eagles' newest weapon on offense. After an unbelievable 2024 season, where he rushed for over 2,000 yards and broke records, people are wondering, can he really do it again? That kind of success is hard to repeat, especially when a player has already carried such a heavy load. And with Barkley's injury history, it's a fair question. But here's the twist. All signs point to Saquon being even more dangerous in 2025. He's had a full offseason to recover, rest, and refocus. He's been managed carefully by the coaching staff, and according to his own words, he's ready. But Saquon isn't the only one talking. Eagles linebacker Zach Bond also gave a message, and this one wasn't about hope or hype. It was a warning to every team on the Eagles' schedule. He said the defense this year is going to be scary, stronger, faster, smarter, and more aggressive. That's not something you want to hear if you're facing Philly this season. And just when it seemed like that was enough news for one day, more fireworks dropped. NFL insiders are now linking star cornerback Jaire Alexander to the Eagles. Yes, the Pro Bowl's shutdown corner. If that move happens, it could be a game changer for the entire NFC. Right now, the Eagles' offseason workouts are over. The players have officially started their summer break. But don't be fooled. The action is just getting started. Players return on July 22nd for training camp, and the first real practice happens the very next day. Fans will even get to watch their favorite stars in action at Lincoln Financial Field on August 10th. This spring may be over, but the message is loud and clear. The Philadelphia Eagles are not rebuilding, they're reloading, and this season, they want it all. What do you think, Eagles fans? Can Saquon break more records this year? And should the team go after Jaire Alexander? Rate your confidence in this Eagles squad from 1 to 10 in the comments. Let your voice be heard. Saquon Barkley isn't just preparing to run, he's preparing to dominate. This offseason, Barkley has changed everything about the way he trains. He's not just lifting heavy weights or showing off strength in flashy videos. He's focusing on something more important: recovery, flexibility, and lasting power. His workouts are now about staying healthy, staying quick, and being ready to explode when the season starts. And when he spoke to the media, his words carried weight. Barkley admitted the 2024 season was a massive workload. He had more touches than anyone else in the league. Yet somehow, after all that punishment, his body feels great. And that's not just good news. It's terrifying news for every defense in the NFL. The Eagles coaching staff, led by Nick Sirianni, has made Barkley's health a top priority. They've given him the space and tools to recover smart, and Saquon made it clear that strategy is working. His exact words, "I feel like I'm just now entering my prime." Let that sink in. He just had one of the greatest seasons any running back has ever had. He broke records, he made history, and now he says he's only getting started. If that's true, the NFL has a huge problem, but it's not just about Saquon. The Eagles' offense is filled with firepower. Defenses will have to make impossible choices every single week. Jaylen Herz summed it up perfectly when he said, "They'll have to pick their poison." Do you focus on stopping Barkley? Then Hertz will beat you with his arm, just like he did in the Super Bowl. Try to stop the pass? Barkley will break loose and tear through your defense. This offense is like a puzzle you can't solve. And here's the wild part. The passing game might actually be better this year than it was last year. With more chemistry, more weapons, and a hungry mindset, Hertz and his receivers are looking sharper than ever. And we're not even done. The defense, yes, the same defense that was one of the best in team history last year under Vic Fangio, might also take a step forward. That's hard to believe, but it's what's happening in Philly. This team isn't just good, they're dangerous on both sides of the ball. And if what Saquon said is true, if he's really entering his prime, then this Eagles team might be even scarier than we thought. If you were a defensive coordinator, how would you try to stop this Eagles offense? Double Barkley or try to contain Hertz? Let us know your strategy in the comments below and rate this offense from 1 to 10. And here's the scary truth for the rest of the NFL. That dominant Eagles defense we saw last year, that wasn't even their final form. It was only year one under legendary defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. The players were still learning the system. They were adjusting, figuring out their roles, and building chemistry. But now they've had time to understand, time to grow, and according to those inside the locker room, they've taken a massive leap forward. Just ask star linebacker Zach Bond. In a recent podcast interview, Bond gave us a look inside the mindset of this defense. Even though he racked up over 150 tackles last season and earned Defensive Player of the Year buzz, he's still not satisfied. "I missed 29 tackles," he said. "I dropped a pick. I should have punched the ball out." That's the kind of player he is, hungry, focused, and never settling. And it's not just Bond. He said the entire defense is now operating on a much higher level. At OTAs, they're not just going through the motions. They're having advanced conversations, breaking down situations, and communicating like veterans. As Bond put it, we're miles ahead of where we were last year. Already. That should send a warning to the rest of the league. Because let's be honest, the Eagles' defense didn't start 2024 strong. In fact, the first few games were a nightmare. The run defense was historically bad. That Buccaneers game? A complete disaster. But they turned things around fast. And now, heading into 2025, they're entering the season with experience, confidence, and momentum. That's dangerous, because when you take a unit that was already great and give them time to grow together under Fangio's system, you don't just get improvement, you get something elite. And if Zach Bond actually gets better, that's a terrifying possibility. Think about it. 2024 was not only his first year in Fangio's complex system, but also his first full year playing inside linebacker. That's right, he changed positions and still dominated. Now imagine what he could do with a full offseason to master the role. Even Bond admitted it. "That was my first real year at this position. I feel like there's a lot more I can do." How high is his ceiling? We don't know. But that's exactly what makes it exciting and dangerous for everyone else. And just when you think this Eagles roster couldn't get more stacked, boom, trade rumors start swirling. Because this week, the Packers released All-Pro cornerback Jaire Alexander, one of the best defensive backs in the NFL. And now, multiple NFL insiders are linking him to the Eagles. Think about that. This team already has Saquon Barkley, already has Hertz, Brown, and Smith, already has Fangio's defense locked and loaded, and now you're telling me they might add a shutdown corner like Jaire Alexander. This is no longer just a good team. This is a potential powerhouse. Do you think Zach Bond can get even better next season? And should the Eagles go after Jaire Alexander? Drop your answers in the comments and tell us what move you think Howie Roseman should make next. Now here's the scenario everyone's talking about. Could Jaire Alexander really join the Eagles? It's the kind of move that might not be necessary, but it could be game-changing. Think about it. Philly already has depth at cornerback, but if you add a healthy Jaire Alexander to this defense, you're not just adding talent, you're adding a closer. Imagine this. The Eagles are in a tight playoff-level battle against Washington. The game's on the line, and suddenly Alexander jumps a route, picks off a pass, and flips the entire game. That's the kind of moment he's built for. That's the kind of move Howie Roseman loves to make. Calculated, explosive, and potentially championship-defining. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Alexander was born in Philadelphia, and he already has a strong relationship with Eagles defensive backs coach Christian Parker from their time together in Green Bay. According to NFL insider Jeremy Fowler, that connection might really matter. Loyalty and relationships are important to Alexander, and that gives Philly an edge. But, and this is a big one, money could ruin the dream. Insider Adam Schefter made it clear the Eagles simply won't spend big here. They wouldn't even match Darius Slay's $10 million one-year deal from Pittsburgh. So if Alexander wants to come to Philly, he'll need to take a major pay cut. Way down from the $20 million he made in Green Bay. Is that realistic? Honestly, probably not. Even though he'd be coming home, even though the fit makes sense, and even though the Eagles would love the upside, it's hard to see him agreeing to a discount that deep. Some other team with cap space is likely going to outbid Philly, and the truth is, the Eagles don't need him. Catrell Clark and Kelee Ringo have looked sharp this spring. In fact, Jeremy Fowler even said the team is very happy with their cornerback room right now. If that's true, it makes this move even less likely. So, is it exciting to imagine? Absolutely. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But the Eagles aren't done making moves just yet. Because while Alexander grabs the headlines, other names have quietly been linked to Philly as well. Trayvon Walker, Kyle Pitts. Yeah, this could get wild. Do you think Jair Alexander should take a discount to join the Eagles? Would you rather trade for Kyle Pitts or go after Trayvon Walker? Let us know your take in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to stay updated on every Eagles rumor. And now, let's talk about a name Eagles fans know well, Justin Simmons. The all-pro safety is still unsigned, but his next destination might already be taking shape. According to NFL insider Jeremy Fowler, Simmons is looking to reunite with Vic Fangio and Christian Parker, the two coaches he had the most success under in Denver. In Fowler's own words, Justin Simmons is interesting because I think coming out of Atlanta, I do think he is looking for that Vic Fangio scheme. That's why the Eagles are on the short list. Alongside Philadelphia, Carolina is also reportedly in the mix, but Philly seems like the clear favorite, especially if scheme fit is the priority. Now here's the question, will the Eagles actually make the move? Right now, the team appears comfortable with young safeties Sidney Brown and Andrew Mukuba battling it out for the starting job. If they had real concerns at that position, Simmons might already be in midnight green. But that could change fast. If we get a few weeks into training camp and neither Brown nor Mukuba looks ready, don't be surprised if the Eagles pull the trigger and bring Simmons in. They've done it before, waiting until the right moment, the right price, and the right fit. So yes, the door is open, but for now, it's just a waiting game.